Hello, everybody. Welcome on back to Budz Talking Budz. It's HT, it's Sean, it's Jared.
It's the normal crew.
How we doing?
Better now.
Yeah,
Are we all dry?
we are drying out.
Oh man. Yeah.
Well, if you guys don't know, if you're not in California, we kind of had Jesus decided to flood the earth again.
Yes. Yeah, we were going to build Noah's Ark, but it only lasted a day and a half, so we didn't get the time.
So it's been kind of crazy for the past 2 weeks. So I kind of want to just jump right into that. Starting last week, we were running off generators, right? Did we even not? And we were trying to run orders and everything.
Oh yeah, we were probably an hour and a half from recording the podcast. It was a 10-minute storm. That's how weak the grid is in California. It was, and I say I'm not exaggerating. It was a 10-minute storm. I went into the grocery store as the storm was starting. I grabbed a few things, and as I walked out, the storm had pretty much cleared. And Jared calls me. He's like, "We're out of power."
Yeah.
But we got a few generators. We got it up. We can kind of piecemeal it together with little hotspots for internet and just running the computers just enough to make it happen. So
you're running hotspots on our Apple computers?
Yeah. We have multiple Verizon cellular hotspots just for that specific when that happens.
Yep. And then actually we got the router plugged in like pretty quickly.
Oh, that's right.
By that point we were like, it almost felt like everything was normal except for the lights.
Yeah.
Really? And then the lights came on. We were like, oh.
There was something wrong.
Well, because the only thing I saw was the source. They put up a video of you were in the station, the main station.
Yeah, we'll call it the safe.
The safe room?
Yeah.
Or not the safe room?
Something.
Yeah.
Let's not call it the safe room.
The electronical room? Whatever. But you're like plugging in stuff and you had the cord going all the way to the generator.
Oh, yeah, I didn't even see that. Yeah. It was quite at the time. No, it was not near as bad as last year on 420.
The year before.
Was it the year before?
It was the year before.
That's at the old place, right?
Yeah. It was at the old place.
Yeah.
And it was... I mean, mind you, our next day's cut off at 1 and the power went out at like 12:48. Mm-hmm. So we had orders coming in and we're trying to build them and send them out. And
Jared had been manager for like 3 minutes.
Yeah, it was my 5th day. Walked in, power went out.
It's the busiest day of the year for you guys. Obviously 420 is a weed holiday, and so we usually do about double the sales that we do on a normal day.
Right.
And so to lose power during literally the biggest day of the year, oh my God, it was a trip. And we were at the old spot, which we call the trap spot. And so we just didn't have the generator power. It was quite the experience.
It was awesome.
Yeah,
it was awesome. But everybody jumped too. Like that, like we crushed it. Like we made it through that day, no problem. It was a wild one.
So that kind of prepared you guys for this one.
A little bit. Yeah, I was walking through the fire. But at the other trap spot, which used to be a porn studio, there was no windows. Actually, you guys don't know this probably, but there actually was some windows in the back of the building that they just sheetrocked over.
Oh.
So yeah, there's 0 windows in this building, which makes it kind of interesting when the power goes out.
Hey, when you got a gangbang, you gotta have the windows up.
Yeah, and the natural light, it varies too much. You need them.
Yeah. It's like you need to control the lighting.
Absolutely.
Night, light or day.
That's insane.
Or light or dark. So we had that last week, and then Monday rolls around.
And
it was flooded cars.
Eventful.
Yeah. They shut down Apple.
My wife took my ass off the road. She summoned me home.
And DM'd me on IG. I just saw yesterday. Sorry for not replying.
No, you're good.
But yeah, she was sending me videos of like places flooding and slow.
Yeah. And you're like, I know.
Yeah. There was stores in Grover like a foot underwater. Yeah. There was like Taco Bell. It was like multiple feet underwater in Morro Bay.
Yeah.
Davis Storage, Ryland Lap family lost everything. Everything.
How?
Such a bummer.
Did you see the mudslide in Osos? There was a big mudslide in Osos, took out a few houses. And of course, Los Osos is a town. I live in Los Osos. It's like right on the ocean, and there's just, like no cell phone service. HT also lives there. Jared's also very familiar.
I lived there.
Yeah. grew up right across the river, right across the water. And so there's very little cell phone service, especially during the storm or whatnot. So I might speak about this, but I was out delivering that night, and I'm in Santa Maria, and it's like 8 o'clock at night or 7:45 at night. Jasper, another employee, texts me. He's like, "Oh my God, did the mudslide take out your house in Los Osos?" And I'm like, well, I don't know because I'm not there. So I start calling my wife. I'm calling her. She's not answering. Then I start calling my kids' iPads.
I've done that before. That before.
They're 6 and 7 years old, and I'm just like calling their iPads.
Yeah.
But apparently they didn't have service, and our house did not get hit by a mudslide. So
Okay, well, good. That's
okay.
Side note: a couple years ago, I texted or DM'd Verizon. I'm like, "Can you do something about Los Osos cell phone service?" And the person, it was customer support, and they told me, they're like, "There's nothing wrong with your service there in Los Osos." I'm like, "You're wrong."
Yeah, come here with your Verizon phone, and you will realize.
Yeah.
My
terrible.
podcasts stop. I get about halfway into Los Osos to my house, and whatever podcast I'm listening to just dies, and it's like, all right, here we are back in the dead zone.
Good thing I need to prepare to be at my house.
Yeah,
I guess.
exactly. Good thing I only got a few blocks left and I can get on Wi-Fi.
Yeah, it's just crazy. Anyways, so on top of that, no cell service, no, you can't really, Morro Bay was cut off. Like South Bay, the water was going underneath the actual like road. So like they thought it was going to be closed a lot longer. But
I was supposed to deliver in Morro Bay that night. So I left here with, boxes and everything like that. And I bomb up there. And of course, after like 5 detours, whatever I can see Morro Bay. I have 5 orders on my phone in Morro Bay and stopped. Waiting about 30 minutes. I'm texting the customers, being like, "Hey guys, I'm right outside of town. I'm trying to get in. The next thing you know, State Patrol comes up on the loudspeaker and they're like, we're going to try to get people turned around. If you want to wait for 3 to 4 hours, we might get the road open then." And so, of course, I turned around and went back into town and told dispatch, like, "Hey, send me some orders down in here. I can't get into Morro Bay. And also, please reach out to the customers." I would say 150 cars didn't turn around. They were like, "I'm going to sit here for 2 to 3 hours and wait for this road to open up."
That's insane.
Yeah, I was like, oh, man, that's...
Not to mention eco.
Yes, we had a driver get stuck in Santa Barbara for a whole day.
Literally stayed the night at the
you want
hotel.
to explain all that?
So he went down Monday morning, and he did his like a full double shift down there. He was ready
Open
to
to
go.
close.
Open to close. Like nailed it. Stayed at the hotel because it was shut down. He started to do he was going to do essentially just the morning shift, and we were going to send someone out for the night shift, but we decided to cut that off. It's too much craziness out there.
Yeah.
So I hit him up. I'm like, "All right, let's get you back." But I'm like looking at the map, and there's no way back. Like there was no way out of Santa Barbara. Like you couldn't go south.
Yeah.
It was like all the roads were closed there. You couldn't take the 154 and you couldn't take the 101. So he had to wait until they opened the highway until like 6 something, just a little after 6. I think he made it back 7:30 p.m. Tuesday night.
Yeah, my God. And he had left at probably 6:45 Monday morning, a.m.
Yeah. Crazy.
Jared and I were talking, and we're talking about Eco, a great employee that works here, very enthusiastic, probably the perfect person to get stuck in Santa Barbara.
100% the perfect person to get stuck.
Right? Like,
Yeah, he was.
Guys, I want to say he's the one that brought up the idea. He's like, "Hey, I know I've been down here all day, but like, if you just throw me a hotel room and I'll open up tomorrow morning down here."
So
and we were
amazing.
just looking at each other like, "Well, that's a great idea. Thanks, Ika. We couldn't really ask you to do that, but if you're going to volunteer, let's do it, dog." Yeah, it was a really, really interesting time. I'm not saying I made the right decision to stay open. I don't know. I'm still kind of letting that play out.
But everyone made it back safely.
We had no car issues. Everybody made it back safely.
that's crazy.
We crushed it.
Not one car issue.
Not one car issue.
Beside the minor stuff that already is, but
Yeah, I had 3 customers tell me, "I will never order from anybody else. You guys have earned my business for the rest of the time." And I'm like,
should we make like a shirt or sign like rain or shine?
We survived the storm.
and I wanted to, I never let anybody know I was like the owner out there delivering, but I wanted to tell them, I was like, "You don't know how much that means to me, because I'm going to get back to the shop tonight and probably have to deal with some blowback for staying open this entire time during this literal like state of emergency." okay, I just want to say one. Thank you, customers, for ordering. We will do everything we can to ever get to you. But when your phone is going off and it's saying, do not travel unless you're fleeing the area, which was all these like kind of Amber Alert style things that were coming up, and you instantly open your Source app and order, I mean, thanks.
Wild.
I love it. I thank you, I guess. But
so great.
We love our customers and everything, but at the same time, it's just like,
What, the first time they shut it down, it was like, do not drive until 3 p.m.
Yeah.
And then it popped back up. It was like, do not drive till 6:45 p.m. And then it popped back up. It was like, do not drive till midnight.
yeah, unless the last one was that unless you're fleeing the area, like unless you're fleeing for your life, do not drive.
insane. Like the whole thing. But like you said,
Hey,
we're healthy.
everybody,
We're here.
We're good.
We're here. We made it.
we helped some people that were obviously needed it in a time of need.
Yes.
And we have a story to tell.
Yeah.
Story to tell.
Is there any other stories that should be said about happen? I can't think of any other stories right now. Elijah came over to my house. He was in Osos and he was like figuring it out, like what can I do? It was 101 North shut down already. So we're like, I don't know how much longer 101 South is going to be open. So like we're sitting there, it's like 125. I'm like, hey, come over, get out of the water. Because he was even saying like, I'm sitting here and the wind is like moving my car. I'm like, okay, yeah, come on over, So he came over. His socks were drenched. So we like gave him some socks.
Nice.
Gave him like helped him out. Anna gave him some ice cream. Like, here, calm down. Like, here you go, have some ice cream. Just being a mom, and then my kids were there because obviously they didn't have school. And then he was like 3 minutes away from playing Lego Star Wars with my kids. And he's like, okay, I got called home. I think I can make it. So he made it fine. But it was like, I was ready for him to like, you can spend the night at my house.
He probably had to detour it. Yeah. It took me an hour and 30 minutes to get home that night. It was a long day.
Brutal.
It was a long
So
day.
brutal.
I was,
That is crazy. But no hurt cars?
No.
Yeah, me and Ace were at home, and we got up and like decided to just take like a nice mile walk around the property and out to the street. Nice. And we were like gonna hit up like Barrel House and be like, "Are you guys open? Like, we're gonna come hang out." And then like no one answered. We were like, "Oh, they're probably all flooded." So we just stayed home.
And you probably got this message. It was like, "Do not travel unless you're fleeing for your life."
We were
and you're like, "Yeah, we're gonna listen to that."
I need beer.
I need beer. Yeah, I mean, like, why not? Like, just to see like what's going on. Like, go out there and
you should order a delivery from the source. We'd have rolled right up, baby. We'd have rolled up.
I thought it was great. Like, I had friends in Atascadero who could not get home.
Yeah.
Like Haley, who lives out on 41, she was at her parents' house because she couldn't make it back to her house. Like, and then I don't think Yasper could get to her.
Yeah,
so
he was stuck at his house on an island. He sent me videos.
Yeah.
He sent me this video. I wish you could put a drone up, because if you kind of his property is like a house, and it's kind of only like one way in and out, and there's this creek that runs there, and it created like a moat almost around his house. It was kind of interesting. It's like, oh yeah, okay, you're definitely not coming to work.
Nope.
But yeah, everybody survived. God did punish us for a little bit, but we made it through.
I don't think it's over though. I think we're gonna get a
we're
little
getting
bit
another-
more. Yeah, there's gonna be
This
waves.
weekend.
It's
Starts Friday.
Not quite the level.
Not
I don't
the
think
same.
the level.
Not the same, but it's going to be.
Call it.
The only thing it can maybe affect other areas that were almost done, like almost wanting to do stuff like fall or whatever. So, but man, you know what?
Just order the source.
Yeah.
That's all that matters.
We need a billboard or something like through floods.
Yeah, but
to paradise.
don't be mad if I ask you, like, you know, out in the middle of some dirt road to drive your truck to meet us, because the Prius will not make it, bro.
That did have to happen. Once, Chase had sent in a message of this road in front of him that was completely flooded, and he's like, "Hey, should I drive on it?" We were like, "No, my friend." And it was like a gravel road. I'm like, I'm sure those people have a pickup truck. They live out like on a farm, and sure enough, they did. And she just drove like the quarter mile out to meet him, and he was obviously super appreciative.
What were you running when you were driving?
I drove my truck.
Yeah,
because we didn't have enough cars. We didn't have enough cars, is what it was.
But that was probably a better thing, huh? You got around a little more.
It was great.
Oh yeah, for you, yeah, absolutely.
For sure. I'm super happy.
I said foot lift kits on all the Priuses.
Yeah,
Dude, down. Like I said, we should all get AMC Eagles, like we talked about last week, and be rolling.
I did pull up. So when you're trying to prepare an order, you're not really trying to be noticed. That's just kind of the thing. So I was in this neighborhood in Santa Maria, and I pull off to the side of the road to prepare like 3 or 4 orders. It's going to take me a minute, and I went into a huge puddle. The water went up in my engine compartment and started smoking like crazy. I mean, like crazy smoke coming out. And I was like, I think I just called a little too much attention to myself. So I'm gonna drive up a few blocks to prep these orders. I don't think it's the right spot. So but I haven't had a job where I got tips in since I was a delivery driver like 5 years ago. It was kind of sweet because then I rolled up through a fast food restaurant because I didn't have much time to eat, and I was like, oh, I don't have to get my wallet out. This is really nice.
So nice.
And then the next day I was going in to get lunch. I'm like, I looked down at my little tip thing in my cup holder. I'm like, oh my God, this is really nice.
Yeah.
I gotta get my wallet out.
It's so sweet.
Yeah, it is.
So if anybody says like the source is a bad job to work, just listen to this guy. Right?
The owner out on the road.
I don't know why anybody would talk shit on us or working here, but if you need a reason, I mean, look at that.
Yeah.
The boss was happy for tips.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Love it. This place is awesome.
Yeah. All right. Going on to the next thing, Central Coast Cannabis.
Central Coast Cannabis, baby. We're launching a new brand. It's kind of been my brainchild for a lot of years. We just didn't have, really the ability, the opportunities. It just wasn't. We had bigger fish to fry. But finally, we got to the point now where we have enough relationships with farms, and we're launching it. And so it's going to be the first kind of Central Coast cannabis brand. Really,
there's nothing else around here, right?
No, there's no other brand like that. And so we're doing our best to source. And I'm not going to speak forever, but for at least right now, we're sourcing all of our flower on the Central Coast. It's just going to be very grassroots type thing. So check dispensaries near you. We're a flower brand, all light dep. We don't do any outdoors. And
what the concept? Why did you? Just so you can explain it, why the Central Coast brand, what are you planning on doing?
Oh, I don't know. I love the Central Coast. And I think everybody loves the Central Coast too. No matter if you're from the Valley, if you're from LA or San Francisco, if you ask hey, if you just are driving for a vacation, where are you driving to? They're like, I'm driving to Morro Bay. I'm driving to Pismo Beach.
That's actually the funniest thing. Like throughout my life, I have met people from all over the world. And every time I look at them, I'm like, how did you get here?
Yeah.
It trips me out.
Yeah, because Morro Bay is maybe 10,000 people or something like that, around 10,000 people. So I mean, they're small little communities, but they're so well known from the big metropolitan areas. It's I don't know. It's kind of crazy. So I just had that idea. I felt like the brand would really resonate with people because they had been like, oh my God, I've been to Morro Rock. I've been to the Pismo Pier, which is a really iconic pier. Most piers are kind of pretty much straight out, but Pismo has this awesome kind of diamond shapes to it as it goes out. So it's really iconic. And so, I thought it would resonate with people, and I'd had the idea banging around in my head for years. I'm sure people got tired of me talking about it. And finally we made it a reality. So find it at dispensaries near you. Central Coast Cannabis. It's a really, really good quality flower for a good low price too. We didn't go bougie with it. No. I didn't want to take it out there and have like $60 eighths like some of these people try to do. I tried to make that balance of quality and price just really match for your average person. So if you're looking for a really good eighth for under $20 and you don't want some swaggy outdoor, that's Central Coast Cannabis is where it's at.
Hell yeah. And if you can't see, we'll probably have pictures up that Daniel's going to put up, but each bag that we have up there has a different city on it. And so look for it's kind of cool to me. We're going to have different cities that add to the packaging.
You got to collect them all.
You can kind of collect them all. Motherfucker, that's a good idea.
Yes, collect them all.
Let's go. Yeah, so more cities are going to come out, so we'll have different variations of the packaging. So
if you post a picture and you tag us in it and you have one of all of them, we'll give you 10%.
Yeah,
for sure.
Something ridiculous.
Yeah, I would love that.
So that's awesome. So it's cool concept. you're kind of smart on some things, you know.
Sometimes I fuck so much stuff up that occasionally when something kind of works out, it's like, oh my God, finally.
This is going to be legit. I keep thinking
I'm
back
excited.
to like Firestone when they first dropped like the Honey Blonde Ale, like way back in the day, and like
Mm-hmm.
nobody bought it. And then they slapped 805 on it and it flew off
And
the
it
shelves.
flew off
Did you know that?
Yes, I did know
Yeah.
that.
I don't even think they changed the recipe. I think
No,
it's the same
no, the
recipe. They
same
literally
exact.
changed the name,
Put a black bottle.
slapped 805 on it.
And now it's one of the bigger beers
one of-
in the country, I would think.
Literally.
No, my buddy's in Seattle. He's like, and when it was big here, and then like it was only supposed to be here. That was kind of their snag stick.
No, it's all over now.
Oh, he's in Seattle buying it.
Oh,
Yeah.
I saw it in Nebraska at my hometown liquor store of 3,000 people in the town.
That's
I was in this liquor store and I was walking around. I wanted to tell people too, like, oh,
2,000 miles away from our area.
Yeah,
code.
yeah,
Like,
here it is.
Wild.
And I was like, I looked around the liquor store to be like, is anybody gonna care that I was like, oh, I know where this is made. I drive by it. I've been to the brewer. And I was like, nobody's gonna care.
But it is as because if you flip it, if we had a beer from your hometown, like that wouldn't
You would
that's
lose your mind.
crazy.
For
that's
sure.
a crazy distance.
it would be made of corn because that's the only thing they
I mean,
that's
my
there.
friend
There's
was
probably
a-
some whiskey or something out there, you know.
bar in Spain and found Lagunitas IPA.
Oh, really?
And I thought that was like so interesting. I was like, I can't even imagine like being in Spain and then being like, oh, Lagunitas, yeah, I want one of those.
Yeah.
I'd be like, no, give me something different.
Yeah, you can see wine from this area because Paso is the second. This Paso area is whatever is the second biggest wine producer in the country or in the state next to Napa.
Yeah.
So you see those all over the country. I mean, I've
Right.
traveled everywhere, and my wife drinks wine. Whenever in the wine aisle, we always try to find like California Central Coast wines, and that's really easy to do. But to get a beer like that, I don't know. I thought it was pretty cool.
widespread.
It's a trip.
Yeah, that was cool.
But look out for Central Coast Cannabis. Look out for the different packaging, and then collect them all.
I love that. Was great. Yes.
So I was roaming the internet before we did this, and I saw that Minnesota state officials announced that Wednesday that the health department will add IBS and OCD to the list of qualifying medical conditions for participation.
Oh my God. I hope the podcast editor is on his game. Okay, so basically,
I'm not
So
editing that out.
good.
yeah.
So good. Don't leave it.
So California had kind of a similar thing, and this is different. I can speak to Iowa too, where they did it a little bit differently. But California's like, yeah, man, if you got like back pain, if you like stub your toe, we'll give you a med card. I mean, you could basically do anything. I mean, we've told this story before on the podcast, but I remember when I moved to California, I FaceTimed a doctor that I swear was in China, and I had spinal pain, and then next thing you know, I could buy weed. But there's other states like Iowa, which their list of things were like literally stage 5 terminal cancer. I mean, it was like you couldn't fake it basically.
Yeah.
So, OCD, IBS, IBS might be a little bit harder to get diagnosed, but there's some subjectiveness to these things that they add, and that allows, kind of maybe your recreational user to be able to legally smoke by, I don't know, claiming they have OCD. That's, a very subjective.
I can't take a shit. I need this weed.
Yeah.
I was actually legitimate. When I went to go get my first med card, like I had problems sleeping. I worked at a really rough job where I was like hunched over and, whatever, like heavy
You were
lifting
crabbing.
and stuff. Long line fishing, but
Same thing.
but yeah, and I was telling him, like, it was the same thing. It was a call to some guy in LA, and he was like, man, you're making me hurt just telling me about it. Yeah, sign you up. And I was like, my mom's in a lot of pain too. He's like, yeah, send her on down.
Yeah.
I was just like, all right. But I really did. I had terrible insomnia and work was a pain. And my boss was like totally cool about whatever down there. So he's
I mean, it clearly has medical benefit, but it also, in my opinion, adults should be able to be adults. So it should clearly be recreationally legal. So anything that kind of allows that, or maybe you have a legitimate medical problem that's not listed on their really strict list.
Exactly.
And so you get something subjective and you're like, oh my God, now I can actually treat my insomnia, because I actually don't think insomnia is on that list. Now I can pretend to have OCD, I guess, and then get a prescription to actually treat my other medical conditions.
I have OCD about my sleeping.
Yeah, there you go. There you go. Yes.
I just have ADOS.
Yeah.
Yeah. Attention deficit shiny.
God. My buddy and I, instead of saying I have ADHD, I had HT disease.
HT.
You know,
Oh
so
my
like,
God. Well, yeah.
yeah, I just had my own thing.
It works.
Dork. The next thing is Snoop Dogg is starting Death Row Cannabis. So we just need to get on that.
Oh, I mean, I'm going to DM Snoop right now. Not that he's going to reply.
Let's all do it.
Yeah, let's all do it. I'm going to go hard on this to try to figure out how
So
we can
cool.
get it on our menu.
It's only in Brentwood, La Mesa, and San Bernardino at the cookie shops.
God, Burner, of course,
Dude.
Burner and Snoop got some sort of hookup. I
Yeah.
don't blame him. Burner's cool as fuck. So,
But like Death Row being on the West Coast, definitely Snoop, Tupac, all those guys from Death Row, like it's just I'm so glad that Mike Tyson, their past might have been checkered on all of them. Like just Snoop Dogg being in a murder trial, Mike Tyson trying to bite people's ear off and hurting women. To come around 20 years later, like, oh, they're all beloved by everybody. So to use that outlet, that's like people are going to be smoking Death Row cannabis that used to probably hate Death Row Records and what they like.
but they like Snoop because he's Martha
but
Stewart
now
and
it's like
everything now.
it's different.
That advertisement is just too great.
Yeah, I'm surprised. I'm not surprised it took him this long because he's actually a smart business person, and
Yeah,
so
he
he
is.
probably waited for the right opportunity to get into the game because there's so many people that just see dollar signs on cannabis and like, okay, awesome, no shade at Seth Rogen, but that gonna happen to him. He put out maybe some subpar product because you just like rush into the market. You see these dollar signs like, oh my God, it's legal. I'm going to get this brand going, and you really need to find the right person to partner with to kind of help incubate your brand and get it going. I guess I'm not plugging Canna Branding, our other business, but I guess
But we
will
are.
plug
We
Canna
are.
Branding. Yeah,
We are
So,
Canna
like,
Branding. DM us.
yeah, so this is probably just like Snoop found somebody like Canna Branding and is like, hey, oh my God, you have great contacts to source flower.
Yeah.
Cool. You have you have an awesome eye for design for like bringing a brand to life. Great. And so let's partner together and make this brand actually pop off. So he probably waited until he found the right avenue to launch it.
The guy he said that he's using, it's a geneticist, YK or something like that. Supposedly well known. So he's working with him where he's worked with other famous people in the industry.
Yeah.
So
That's
kinda
cool. I wonder if I'll have to look this up. I don't know this, but like Tyson. They don't grow a lot of their I don't think they actually.
a lot of people don't. That's
a lot
right.
a lot of people don't grow their own weed.
Right.
Isn't he more involved than a lot of others though?
No, because we've been to the facility. Like maybe they choose some genetics and that's fine, but there was a time where he had his stuff was called the Toad. We sourced flower from the same exact cultivation place that we called it the Frog, and it was the Toad.
Right.
And so he was, I'm not saying he completely outsources, but
Like I've seen pictures of him like in fields of like plants and stuff and whatever, and like it just
I could
seems
do
like
that,
he
bro.
puts it, well, okay, that's not the point. He's building
True.
a weed complex.
I can't wait for our
with,
vacation to do that.
Bro,
Yes.
like longest lazy river ever. I'm like, that guy likes weed.
God,
like,
he loves weed. He's so passionate about it. Yeah.
Like,
And
I-
his podcast clips are hilarious.
Oh, they're hilarious.
Yeah.
No shade at Tyson at all. That's kind of the industry is what it is. But and maybe Snoop's doing the same thing. Maybe he's just working with a geneticist, and then he finds, hey, you find a cultivation site that's like, man, these guys got it dialed. Why invent it from scratch, really? Like, well, why be like, oh, no, I can do it better? Like that's kind of arrogant at some point. So as long as, you're picking the genetics, like find the best cultivator and have them cultivate some bomb-ass weed for you. Call it Death Row Cannabis. And you could, he's only in three shops right now on purpose,
Yeah.
He's probably creating that that want for it, that need for it.
Yeah.
And, sooner or later, maybe he'll be, we have up above us, we got a signed glove from Tyson.
We do.
Because we were, selling a bunch of Tyson. If we get a signed blue bandana from Snoop for selling his stuff, God, I'd wear it all the time.
Yes,
so-
that
Yeah.
outfit he wore at the Super Bowl.
That was amazing.
Okay.
Literally, it was.
Can we go back to that was
the
the
blue
best
rag
halftime
suit,
show.
bro. The blue rag.
That was the best halftime show. 50 Cent looked like a caterpillar.
Didn't matter, dude. Upside down, still doing 50. Dude, that was 20 years ago, by the way.
Yeah, oh, his song came out?
In the Club came out 20
Well,
years ago.
please watch the video back. He's a little thicker. He's got some muscle on him, but he's hanging upside down, and he literally looks like a caterpillar, like emerging from a cocoon. I loved it. It was the best halftime show
was
ever.
great.
Brought me back to my childhood. I loved it, but I thought that's kind of a funny.
Well, and while he's doing that, you see Dre and Snoop. They're smoking underneath in the back, and then they come up on top.
That was
It's
the
the
best.
greatest thing in the world.
That was the greatest thing
That
in the
was
world.
awesome.
They also were like no gang signs, like that. All the Super Bowl producers and everything were like no gang signs. It wasn't 30 seconds in there, and Snoop is flashing all sorts of gang signs.
He was wearing a Crip suit.
He was wearing a fucking Crip suit, which I mean, I kind of want one somehow. I mean, I don't know.
We can make it an event.
You can make it happen. Yeah. Well, because Jared karaoke's. I've been, and I like to get out to the karaoke bars, and I would. G Thang is going to be my next
we
next
about
song.
to do some Snoop karaoke?
Yes, we are, and I want the rag outfit to do it in.
I'm down. I'm ready.
I've been practicing my arm swing like he's got.
Yes.
Oh,
Hey,
this is horrible.
Come check me and Jared out. Sweet Spring Saloon, Los Osos.
I'm down. I'm super down.
I don't karaoke. I can't sing. I'm deaf, so I'm tone deaf. I've thought about it, what I would do, and I just couldn't get away with it. Many Men by 50 Cent.
Why not?
That's
What
my
was-
shit. But like I don't know. I'm a little too white.
You're a lot too white.
Yeah.
Is it Dirty Grandpa where he does?
Yeah, true. But
Yeah,
like,
where he'll be like, bro, they filmed it.
The purpose of karaoke is people that can't sing
True.
singing.
true.
Not the most of the places I go.
Okay, if you go to Sweet Spring Saloon in Los Osos, that's the purpose, I feel.
But okay, back when I worked there and it was like me and Chris and Gabby and Keenan and Garrett and like we were just having a good old time. Like it was a requirement when I was a bartender to do karaoke. And I somehow avoided that requirement for like 2.5 months.
The person
And then
that wants it.
No,
my boss would make us do karaoke.
Oh,
if you're working,
I
you're
thought
doing karaoke.
I thought you were telling people to do it.
No.
Okay.
Literally, my boss was like, if you're working on Tuesday night, you got to
Who, this Raina?
So Christopher. He also played on my pool team, so we were like really close. But yeah, he was like, you have to do it. So finally, I did one. And then it was like riding your first roller coaster. I was like, give me back up there, coach. Mind you, I think I sang like 6 songs that night. So I spent like 40 minutes not behind the bar. I was just on stage doing karaoke, bro. Like, my boss is happy. We're having fun. Let's go.
That's so.
Okay, I have one karaoke advice for people.
Uh-oh.
Do not do death metal.
Is that a thing?
It happened last time I was there. I was there like 2 or 3 weeks
I
ago.
watched
So
a
there's
guy
like-
do Host at like a bar restaurant in LA
kinda cool.
and
Yeah.
crushed it.
Yeah,
like
and everybody
wasn't
loved
even
it.
looking at the screen. He was just like, and we were just like, is he
Host.
doing this right now? Like straight up.
I don't even know really what they say, but yeah.
That's
it's
such
like
a
you hate
savage
me
move.
or something. I can't.
Yeah.
I sound like that.
Yeah.
It's such a savage move just to start doing heavy metal.
He
screamo.
nailed the whole thing.
That's kinda
cold
cool.
without looking at the screen. And I
I could see that just because it was famous enough.
Eating
where
french
people
fries,
knows
like-
it.
Yeah. My girl's friend convinced her to do a song that had like a 4-minute guitar solo in it.
Yes.
And so like
I've made that mistake.
Yeah, it was a lot of air guitar for a lot of minutes.
Went up to the bar and ordered a beer mid karaoke song, waiting. I was like, I totally forgot the breakdown was like so long.
Let the solo play.
A family friend of ours, she says she wants to, every time she does a song, it needs to be a song she hasn't sang before, and she wants to karaoke 500 times. So she hasn't. She's on like 76.
It's fun, dude. Like I'll send her the Carafun list and be like, look, just swing your finger and then touch.
Yeah.
Wherever it stops, that's the song.
I'm like, that's a cool. She, I don't know how. Like one time, she's like, that's what I want to do, and I'm gonna set that goal, and she's on her way.
It's a heck of a goal to set.
I have like 10 to 15 songs that I just try to like master just so I can go and like blow out 3
Right.
tracks and then go home.
Yeah, that's the way to do it.
But it's also cool. She's like, what should I sing? And then like the last time Anna and her went, they're like, she's like, I don't know, brave a whole new world. And she's like, all right, sweet.
See, and that's why I like Outlaws, because like literally at Outlaws, the lady loves me. Like I went in there one night, nobody signed up.
Hold on.
Who doesn't love you?
Yeah,
Who doesn't? I've never met.
Have you ever like
Not the
went into
point.
somewhere
Mine
and you're
is
like,
somebody that drugged
like,
you last
fuck
week.
Jared.
Yeah, that sucked. I got drugged last week. It's a whole story. I'll tell you.
Oh,
about it
I've
later.
been there. Done
Yeah,
that.
it sucked. It was terrible. So the lady, they do karaoke on Sunday nights when my 9-ball team plays pool. So I'm there captaining the team while karaoke is happening. One night it was like not a lot of people in the bar, and like I took a picture of the sheet, but me and this lady sang like 20 songs together. Because nobody else was signing up. I was the only one. I was like, I'm just going to stay and keep singing with you. And so we became really good friends. And now, like, when she does, like, the DJ thing and just puts on music and walks away, I'll just grab a microphone and sing along with all the songs that are playing in the background. And, like, it's super fun. Everybody, like, walking around the building, like, still scoring matches. I got a mic in my hand for, like, a half an hour straight sometimes.
Oh, that woman has to love you.
They don't care. They're so hilarious. I don't know. Outlaws is great, except for the kid.
yeah. I mean, she happens to love you because nobody else does.
No, yeah.
HT, since you can't talk today, would you like me to read the socials off? No, I'm kidding. Please do it.
And you can find us on IG.
Hey guys. Participation.
Mitsusushi Bishi?
I was saying that yesterday. My friend, he used to make fun of me in middle school because I couldn't say fire extinguisher or Massachusetts. So he, like in the middle of class, HT, fire extinguisher. And I'm like, fire extinguisher? And they're like, oh, no.
I used to call refrigerator a federator. I didn't like fridge.
DoorDash is here for the 5th time today.
Linen room.
Yep.
Man, they would
these
make so money out of it.
Oh, it's crazy. I'm almost thought of being like, hey guys, I'll just go run and get the food and you can pay me the DoorDash fee. I mean,
Honestly,
like,
you would make a
honestly.
lot.
Yeah, for sure.
They'd be raising those prices.
We were talking about the other day. We'll wrap up after this. We have Little Caesars literally 4 minutes down the road. And then somebody got it. And I'm like, they deliver. And they went through DoorDash to do it. They're like, they don't deliver. And I'm like, yeah. I looked it up. They deliver.
Ordered Little Caesar.
I'm not gonna out them. No, I'm not gonna.
It wasn't me.
I mean, I'd eat it for sure. I'll eat anything, but still, like Little Caesars.
That is my last one.
I feel like very often I see like a Little Caesars box like on the table in the back room, like in the break room for people to eat. And I'm like, why didn't you finish it?
College kids.
Yeah. We'll skip that question I was going to ask. We're going to go through our socials. Budz talking Budz, BUDSTALKING, BUDZ, and thesource.cc. YouTube is now not The Source Slow. It is Budz talking Budz. So if you want to find us on the YouTube.
Excuse me, the sheet's wrong.
I forgot to change it.
But he remembered mid-pod. So.
Yeah, that's good. Yeah, nice. I love it.
I can't speak right now, but I can thought.
That's good.
Our website, thesourceslow.com. We love you guys. Anything else?
Nope. Stay high.
Thank you for everything.
Yep.
Love it.
Say hi.